So it may be a good time to have a chill out session talking about power because I've been thinking about power. At first I thought, well, power, moves something. If it moves from here to there, there's energy, object gets moved. That's power. But then I thought, well, what if you want something to move and it decides that it's just not going to move? That's also power, the will to not move when something is trying to force you to move. And so power comes from kind of an internal gravity, I would think, and it's an interesting thing because, power also comes from ideas. You have all these ideas. Well, there's one idea that says, oh, I have to go get milk at the grocery store, and then you take action on that idea. That has to happen, because biology must be fed. But, all these other ideas, they happen in the mental plane. So there's three areas, of cognition. There's the mind, the heart, and the body. The mental plane, is in the mind. And activities take place in the mind, on the mental plane. Then there's the heart, which is the vital plane. That's where feelings and emotions and the things that make you enjoy life, happen. And then there's the physical plane, which is kind of a realm of practicality. There's things that you have to do to keep the physical form on the planet. And each one of these things takes knowledge and power to sustain. So, knowledge gives you power. Also, who has knowledge has power. If you know how to fix the plumbing, when the water goes berserk in the bathroom, you have power, You have knowledge, and that gives you a little bit of power. If you abuse the power, then you fall from the knowledge and the power. So it has been said. So, knowledge is power. People are given knowledge, and that gives them power. And they mishandle the knowledge, and they mishandle the power. And they lose the power and the knowledge. So what is the real power? What is the power that can change everything? And it's really your choice, The power was given to all of us. And so it's everybody's choice as a power. That's so confusing, but it's everybody's choice. And everybody can choose at any moment, to do the right thing. No matter what happens. You do the right thing. And then you will show your power of your own personal integrity, to the world. Look, even a dog knows the difference between a good dog and bad dog, Even a dog wants to be a good dog. So it's not incredible that I would believe that people of their own accord, would know integrity intuitively, the right thing, how to do the right thing. People know how to do that. But it's a choice. But it's the most powerful choice that you can make. Well, maybe. The most powerful choice is to love, no matter what happens. Because that choice frees your heart. To love no matter what happens, it frees your heart, so your vitality is now free. To free the mentality, you have to realize it's everybody's choice. It's not my will. But if everybody agrees to the same idea, that's a form of power, If everybody thinks Alexander is great, we have Alexander the Great. It's a form of power, People try to occupy your time and to control your time because that makes them great. It's like, if they can control your time, that makes them great in their time, If they have a great idea, then you become a willing participant in that idea. But as soon as they think, they have the power, it's not their power, it's your power because you became a willing participant in their idea. You can always unplug, and show them who has the real power. The power to move or the power to not move. They're both the same power. We're in a power struggle. We're pitted against one another in a dog-eat-dog world. And what they do is they create a scarcity so that it's even worse for us, because while we should be networking and creating a future that's better for our children and ourselves, which is what all history has done. Look at history, look at your grandparents, look at your moms and dads. They worked hard to create a better future for their children. And now, we have a criminal cabal that says you have no future. We own the world. And so we begin to question, power. What is power? Who has power? Omnipotence, is absolute power. And omnipotence is never concerned about who has power and who doesn't have power. Why should omnipotence be concerned about who has power and who doesn't have power? But you'll see, in life, that the people who strive for power, people who struggle for power, are motivated by fear. Different kinds of fear, but they project it on everybody. Oh, we have to go to war because of the enemy. God's children are the enemy, so we have to go after them because they're bastard children of God, we have to get rid of it. No, there are no bastard children of God. And at some point we have to take away their power to dehumanize us and to send us to war against one another. And that's not what everybody wants. So, omnipotence is never afraid of anybody's power. It's never concerned about who has power and who doesn't have power, because omnipotence is all power. It's everybody's power. But what happens is, Somebody gets a hold of a little bit of power and they exercise the power, and then they become consumed by the fear of exercising the power. Why are they afraid of exercising the power? Because they know that they've defied the equilibrium, that, they've disrespected that sacred bond of power that comes when people give leadership power, So they're afraid. And they become the biggest liars to cover up their fear. But once you see their fear, you know you've won. Right? Once you see they're afraid, and you're not afraid, because power comes and goes. If it comes to do the right thing, then yes, let it be done. And if it comes from some confusion or fear, I'm not going to get into it, Sit back and wait. There's warfare, on 3 fronts: mental, vital, and physical. The mental warfare is the war for your mind, to consume your mind and control all your time with mental preoccupation. It doesn't really belong to you. Some enemy, that was invented for you. This is vital. Vital is sadness, If you're feeling depression, it's the war. They're perpetuating depression too, You have to hunker down in the bunkers, and wait till the bombs are done. But always keep up your vitality, Never let anybody take your heart away from you. And then there's physical. If they were not cowards, they would come up and punch you in the face. But they are cowards. So they try to suck the lifeblood out of you without you even noticing. Because they are cowards. And because they are cowards, they have already lost the power over your physical, over your vital, and over your mental. They've lost it because they are cowards. The power, to love, to mend the broken, to give hope, to the injured and the recuperating, to relieve the trauma, from those who've been totally traumatized, to rebuild the heart, to rebuild the body, to rebuild the mind. After all these attacks have been orchestrated to control you, and you've known since you were a child that you're impossible to control. So why do they keep trying to do it? No. It's their ego, it's the ignorance. They pretend. They're pretenders. Just like the bully in the playground. They're pretenders. They pretend they have the power. They're more afraid than anybody else. So let's see their fear. Make them confront their own fear. Because we're not afraid. I'm not afraid of you. I love you. As crazy as you are. I'm not afraid. But if they are afraid, then, what is their foundation? That is crumbling so bad that they have to be so afraid to try and destroy the rest of us. In this war of the mental, the vital, the physical, the spiritual, hold on to peace. Real peace. Peace in knowing that I always chose to do the right thing, best as I could. That I always chose love best as I could. You can rest assured in the peace of that. Small things that make you great. Not swords and missiles and technology. It's knowledge that makes you great. There's the will to power, which is who is going to be the strongest, most powerful monkey on the planet. And then there is the will to paradise. Now, in the will to power, which was Nietzsche, about the Superman who became the most powerful, having knowledge, he exercised it to control others. But ultimately, who becomes the most powerful monkey on the planet becomes the king of monkey bones, It's a cutthroat game. That's the will to power. We've seen it over and over again. Trying to control what is impossible to control. The will of everybody, the time of everybody, trying to control that. We've seen the bloody history of that. How many times do you have to see the same bloody history of that? But there's another will. The will to paradise. And each one, just like we know the difference between good dog and bad dog, Each one of us knows how to get to paradise. And we know that if this world wasn't so crazy, it would be paradise. If this earth wasn't betrayed and destroyed, at every turn, this would be paradise. And so you do that as an individual, because you have free will. But then you also choose that, collectively, as a group. Society has to be based on something, You want society based on a game? A rigged game? That's not power. That's cunning. That's manipulation. That's theft. It's robbery. It's stealing from everybody, It's a rigged game. But life is not a game. So we all stand up for life. We know what life is. Life is our families, our children, puppy dogs, kitty cats, little baby elephants running around. That's life. Life isn't all this intrigue, destructive mentality. There's probably a lot more to be said about power, but I've said enough. I'm going to begin this and, comment in the comments section. I'll answer your comments, and subscribe to the channel. It would help. Thanks.